Hello everyone, and welcome to Season 2 of the Ronin and Eric show.
And today, we will be reviewing the premiere episode, titled Revival.
Yep, Season 5 has finally arrived, with all of the anticipation and excitement behind it.
Well, in some aspect, yes. But let us get started.
I have to let everyone know here, I was honestly dreading this season premiere. Spoilers had leaked to the internet, so I knew at least a month in advance that Adigalia would die.
It wasn't really that hard to foresee. This season is going to bring a lot of despair to many fans, and many great characters are going to meet their end, unfortunately. Anyway, on to the episode. Basically, the start of the episode features Maul and Savage breaking into a space station, killing the guards, and stealing the valuables. But I think the really intense part of this scene is when Maul shows his superiority over his brother Savage.
This scene was actually quite interesting, especially with the concept that Savage just wants to be equal with his brother. But Maul is more power-hungry than that. I wish their fight had lasted longer than it did, though.
It was short, true, but then again Maul is by far more trained and skilled than Savage, even with the challenges Savage had faced. But yeah, it was a great scene. The writers really scored well with this scene with the "there can only be two, a master and an apprentice."
I still have issues with Maul's voice, but no real complaints to this scene.
I get what you're saying, not as menacing, but let's move on to the next scene. Basically, Obi-Wan and Adigalia, or however you say her name, are investigating Maul and Savage's handiwork. And also to clear up that Obi-Wan states that these brothers are, in fact, Sith.
It's funny that they use the term Sith so liberally with people who are likely not to know what the term means, especially if those people thought they were Jedi to start with.
Agreed. I don't think the guy Obi-Wan was talking to read many holobooks in his life. But yeah, next scene is by far more promising. Now after Maul and Savage escape the space station, they end up running into pirates who were employed by Hondo. Basically, the pirates pick up their ship, enter it, and after they find the valuables, Maul and Savage jump out with Maul choking one of the pirates. He then offers them a choice to either join them or die.
This was actually quite unexpected, as I felt sure that Maul and Savage would kill them.
Unexpected. A word we'll frequently use throughout this season, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, that was unexpected. Especially pirates. You know, Maul is very desperate now.
We also get a scene of Maul talking to Hondo that he has converted his lieutenants. Now, one thing that I hate about Maul is that he follows something I call the villain's manual.
So, Mr. Darth Maul, you want to be a villain, eh? Well, say no more. I have for you all you will ever need, the villain's manual. Alright, page 1 is your first step. Always remember, kill the minion. If that thug disagrees with or fails you, kill him off. It's not like you'll need that soldier again. You can always purchase more at Thugs for Less. And now for page 2. Imagine, you finally captured that pesky hero. What do? Kill him? No! You monologue. Scientists have proven that there's no better way to defeat the hero than to talk his ears off. Go for it, Maul!
Stay awake long enough to feel every single cut. Your death will be beyond excruciating. You will suffer, as I have suffered.
Your master, Qui-Gon Jinn. I gutted him while you stood helpless and watched. How did that make you feel, Obi-Wan? True fortune would be the demise of Kenobi. Credit chips are meaningless without a plan to survive. The Jedi are hunting us. We will be forced to make a stand. My legs.
My legs. My legs. My legs. My legs.
Finally, for page 3, always remember, if you are thinking about being a unique three-dimensional character with motivations, fears, desires, and backstory, don't! People don't want to hear that rubbish. They just want to get to the action.
Very cruel it was. Of course, during the conversation you even hear Hondo saying he is proud of his men for betraying him. Yeah, pirates' ugly business. But anyway, now that Maul has recruited Hondo's lieutenants, his own attack against Hondo is very odd though. 'Cause what is the point? To see if their allegiance with him is true or what? Why not attack a Republic base or something?
I think it was hilarious that Hondo was proud of his lieutenants for betraying him. Such an off-the-wall comment that I had to rewind to hear it again. In fact, Hondo and the pirates would be what I consider to be the best part of this whole episode.
Very true. Alright. Now, a little bit after Hondo and Maul's conversation, Obi-Wan ends up arriving right behind the pirates' ships, trying to attempt to contact Hondo, which he does with Hondo saying, "I am very popular today." But after their conversation, Maul, Savage, and the pirates begin their attack. Pirates from both sides fall in pointless slaughter.
I found the way they were fighting quite weird. They basically walked towards each other like it was some board game, rather than an actual battle.
It is weird. I guess the writers were thinking more 17th and 18th century gunpowder warfare when they make these fights. Oh well. But as the pirates kill each other, Obi-Wan and Ada Gallia arrive and have a duel with Maul and Savage. During the battle, Savage headbutts Ada, and before Ada can recover, Savage kills her in cold blood.
Now, either way you slice it, Adi Gallia's death was pointless. First off, they took liberties by ignoring comic book canon. While I don't mind that so much, as her original death sucked, they basically killed her off with no point. I understand they were trying to build up Savage and Maul as a threat, but this is quickly ruined later as they run like scared rabbits from a band of pirates.
Agreed completely. Now, after Ada Gallia's death, Obi-Wan and Hondo and the remaining pirates head into a little base to regroup. Obi-Wan and Hondo split up when Maul and Savage come in with the pirates chasing Hondo. Now, when Maul and Savage reach Obi-Wan, he is trapped and faces both Savage and Maul. During the fight, Obi-Wan aims constantly at Savage's knee, trying to weaken it. And during a minute later in the fight, with a clash of sabers with Maul, Savage, and Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan hits Savage with the knee, and then cuts Savage's arm completely off.
Obi-Wan should be called the Amputator, as he's always cutting limbs off.
Agreed. Now, after Obi-Wan cuts Savage's arm off, Maul uses the Force ferociously as he sends Obi-Wan flying into a wall. Maul then helps Savage out of the base as they come across Hondo's lieutenants, telling them that they have to leave. But then Hondo shows up and tells him that his men are not going anywhere with them. Hondo and his men fire at Maul and Savage as they run for their ship.
And this is what I was talking about. The concept of building up Savage and Maul as villains, only to have them run like crazy from the pirates, was such an epic fail as the writing goes. Made me love Hondo a bit more, but did nothing in regard to the actual plot.
Oh, totally agree, Ronin. Epic fail on the writer's part. I mean, there was no point in the first place to even attack Hondo. Just take your men, get more supplies, and build your force. Obviously, Maul didn't read the Art of War book. But as the pirates pursue Maul and Savage, they finally reach their ship, and getting ready to take off when one of Hondo's men fires a rocket at the ship, severely damaging it.
At this point, I'm in tears from laughing so hard. The big bad Mole and Savage, who were supposed to fear this season, got their chubbies handed to them by these pirates. The writers pulled another Shadow Warrior, only this time instead of Grievous, we got the Night Brothers.
Insolence! We are pirates! We don't even know what that means! Open fire! Yeah, Maul and Savage look more like total weaklings, and only talk like they were powerful. But as Hondo says, they can't be all that frightening. They are running away from Kenobi.
On the plus side, this episode reminded me of why Hondo is one of the best characters on the show.
Honestly, this episode could have been a whole lot better. I know some of the viewers will disagree, but it was not at all what I expected for an opening start to a new season. Kind of a bummer. Oh well. So, basically, later on Hondo and Obi-Wan find Maul and Savage's crashed ship. Hondo's men takes the loot, but Kenobi still has this suspicion that the two horned crazies are still alive.
Yep. And the episode ends not with a funeral for Adigalia, or even mentioning her for that matter, but with Palpatine smiling sinisterly at the camera.
Basically, to tell everyone what to expect later on this season, and as we've seen from the trailers, this will be the first appearance of Darth Sidious, and he will be taking on both Savage and Maul.
Alright, what did we think of this episode? Eric?
A letdown, if you ask me. Very disappointing to what I was expecting, as many others as well. So, out of 5, I would give this episode a 2. And the reason I'm not giving this a 1 is because of Hondo and his humor. But yeah, that's what I'm giving for this episode. How about you, Ronin?
I was really expecting it to suck big time, but it didn't make me mad like I thought I would. Hondo and the pirates really saved the episode, and the action scenes were second to none. But the plot was embarrassing, and the story choices were questionable at best. I give it a 2.5 out of 5. One thing I really want to mention before we leave is once again a green Twi'lek girl bit the dust. Seriously, this is starting to enrage me.
It enrages me that they use these characters, kill them off, and don't even bother to share any story about them. Just the same old stuff, with the same old characters. I can only hope with the few remaining episodes left this season that we will be treated to brand new action and characters. But from what I've seen so far, looks like this season is just a darker version of the past 4.
That Twi'lek girl actually had a name, so I've been thinking about doing this more as a regular thing. Remembering the cool minor characters that die in the Clone Wars show. In this case, we have the Jedi Twi'lek Finn Urte. Rest in peace, Finn. A victim of the writer's continuing desire to make Star Wars unnecessarily dark.
Which they do so well. I don't even want to begin to think of what horrors await in the next several episodes. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Any last words, Ronin?
If I have any last words, it's that this wasn't as bad as expected, and Hondo made it a lot of fun. But if this is any evidence of what the story is going to be like this season, I do not have high hopes.
And I agree completely, Ronin. They can at least cut back from the dark aspect of this show for a little bit and show some Ronin Jedi or some of our favorite characters return. Like, I'm excited that they're bringing back Embo.
Personally, I am not, as I lost all respect for Embo due to his involvement in the Bounty Hunter arc last season. But whatever. I just feel that if the Clone Wars is trying to appeal to adults with these new darker stories, they should up their game in terms of storytelling quality.
True, Embo did participate, but we already discussed that ugly mess last season. And yeah, I do agree with each season getting more darker and trying to get adults to watch it. It's not working. I don't see how gunning down an innocent person is enjoyable, or watching a poor Twi'lek getting double-teamed in an unfair fight.
These kinds of things could actually be well used if the story was good, but unfortunately it has not been the case. Regardless, thank you all for joining us for this episode.
Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more new episodes of the Ronin and Eric show in the following weeks. Goodbye, and may the Force be with you all.